Martavis Bryant dealing with anything right now?
He's ill.
Ill.
Yeah.
Speaking of speed, John, saw Jordy flash that again in 11 on 11s. I mean, can enough be said about how much he still has left in the tank?
You know, I don't know what, I don't think so. I think there's a lot of guys that are, like him at different sports that are able to play at a high level, no matter how old they are. I think he's proven that since he's been here. I was really pleased with him today. He's a difference maker for us.
You were pretty high on Eric Harris at the end of minicamp. What kind of role do you foresee for him on this team, whether it be special teams or in the secondary?
Well, after we met him in Alameda, he introduced himself quite well. He had an outstanding offseason. I mean, he made a lot of plays in the box, deep, covering, special teams. Right now, he's got a chance to be a full-time starter for the Oakland Raiders. That's what I think of him. Now, he hurt his finger. He left practice early today, but he's doing an excellent job. And he's got some really good communication skills, and he's playing very good football for us right now.
Ken Carradine, in his years with the 49ers, for in a 3-4, sometimes he was a lineman, sometimes he was an outside linebacker, never really found a home. Where you've put him now, do you see this as the best fit for him?
Yeah, he's healthy for the first time too. Not only has he played multiple positions, but had some injuries coming out of Florida State, had a tough start to his career. But he's a high draft choice. I got a lot of respect for Trent Baalke. This is a good football player. But we like him as a 6 technique, particularly head up on the tight end. Very hard-nosed run defender with some pass rush ability, and he's done a nice job for us.
Carr and Hudson, there seemed to be a period in today's 11-11 where he got a good little applause from his teammates, even you personally. What was that about, and what have you made of? I don't know if there's enough to be said about your starting center.
He's one of our captains. When you're in the pivot and you're playing against Gunther, a lot of things change. It looks like they're bringing a blitz to the left, and they're bringing a blitz to the right. They're coming up the middle, and he made a couple calls late in the down that were awesome today. And it's fun going to work with the battery that we have. Derek Carr and Rodney Hudson are showing some really good communication and understanding of our system and what we want to do.
Has there been anything about their relationship on the field that has surprised you since you've been here?
Who's that?
Between Derek Carr and Rodney Hudson.
They're just on the same page. They're very much into football. They love the X's and O's, the strategy and the game planning, the preparation. They put a lot of pride and time into it. And when you let Rodney make the calls, and the only time Derek really fixes it is when he feels like he has to. There's just great collaboration between periods, before practice, and it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure being around it.
John, do you think you understand the league's off-season decision about where you place the head for tackling, or is that something you got to wait for the officials to show up to kind of see how this is going to be interpreted? Is there anything you can teach the players yet?
Well, we've been teaching the players at high school level. I've coached high school football, college football, my own son's football teams. You keep the head out of tackling is the goal. Try to keep your head out of there. Shoulder tackling is being emphasized, and they don't want the runner lowering his head either. Trying to keep the head really out of football. So that's the emphasis. We've got a machine over there where our defense is getting a lot of form tackling to try to master that technique. But it's tough sometimes when you're tackling a full-speed man. You don't know which way he's going to go. Is he going to go left? Is he going to go right? Is he going to go through me? But it's something I think every coach at every level of football is stressing.
A couple of the players were talking Monday about some of the film that you're showing them, not 2017 film, more decades past, some older film, grainy film that's kind of can be hard to see the players sometimes. What's the model in terms of what you're showing these guys?
I'm just trying to make some points, and there were some guys that played the game that were pretty good. I think, I think they love it. They love seeing Barry Sanders. I think they love seeing Joe Montana in a 2-minute drill. I had a couple young guys get up there. They didn't know who Jack Tatum was. They didn't know who Art Shell was. And, part of that is, having a respect for the league you're in and the guys that came before you. So you try to accomplish a lot. You only have them so long. You try to keep their attention span. And all of a sudden, man, there's Dan Marino. Man, I didn't know he had that quick of a release. Geez, he was pretty good. A lot of these guys never heard of Mark Duper and Mark Clayton. So, I think they like it. You can make some points, show some great routes. and also teach them a little bit about some of the people that came before you.
That was my follow-up question. Some of the concepts from back in those days, how much of it is applicable to the type of plays that you guys are running today?
Well, Landry and Walsh and Chuck Noll weren't bad coaches. They did some good things, and they did some good things from a fundamental drill standpoint too, and showing guys the drills that Jerry Rice did, showing them how Roger Craig practiced. Those can be great teaching moments. And look, we're not running a 1964 operation here, but there are some things that happened in 1964 that were pretty damn good. And if you don't think so, go ahead and have a nice day.
See the quarterbacks wearing helmet cams. How helpful a tool is that for you and for them?
That's the technology. I'm in the technology. We have Joe Harrington, who came to us from the University of Tennessee, and I think when Peyton Manning comes through here and you talk to Peyton, he'll tell you that Harrington it was a very important part of the Volunteers and part of Peyton Manning, and the use of the Joe pole, the Joe Harrington pole, we call it. From linebacker cam, we have corner cam, we have strong safety cam, we have helmet cam on the quarterback. We're able to see what the quarterback sees. We're able to hear him in the huddle. We're able to hear him at the line of scrimmage, and really use it as a resource to teach Connor Cook, teach E.J. Manuel, let Derek Carr see for himself how he sounded and what he saw. So there are some great, really cool things that Harrington has brought us in a very short period of time.
I saw Derek Harrier mispractice. I think it came from that Markel Lee hit yesterday.
Yeah, I think he's just
Is that
sore.
a teaching situation where you tell Markel maybe take it easy a little bit?
Yeah, we're trying to emphasize that. There's going to be some bang plays where it's easier said than done, but yeah, we're trying to eliminate some of the hits on each other, and when in doubt, pull off. That's been our rule, unless we say the tempo is different. But sometimes there's some bang plays that are tough to deal with.
Speaking of technology, they were asked about Jordy already, but he does seem to be moving around very well. You guys have talked about that. Is that calculatable in terms of those chips in the shoulder pads, being able to tell, boy, this guy's cooking?
I guess so. I would think so. I think we have that. You get Tom Shaw in his laboratory, he's got his own set of technology, and we can measure the workload, how much we're working players, and we chart the reps, and we have computers that tally all that stuff. But I'm more interested in talking about football, honestly, than technology right now.
Going back to Rodney for a second, there were a couple of games last year where apparently he played through kidney stones, including, I think, he was still maybe dealing with it in the game that you broadcast in Philadelphia. Were you aware of that at that point, and what sort of, opinion have you formed of his personality and temperament?
It's just funny you say that. I was with Jim Otto the other day. Jim Otto was here for the alumni, and I was talking to him about Rodney. There's a lot of similar qualities in terms of toughness, passion for football and communication and just all-out effort. The thing I love about Hudson is when we throw a pass, he runs down to cover. He runs down there to see if the receiver needs any help every play. He's the best center that I've coached.
How's the competition going at those gunner spots on the punt team?
We got a lot of competition, so that'll be ongoing here as we head into the Lions preparation and preseason games. We got a lot of competition.
How much of a luxury is it having someone like Paul Gunther around and guys that have played in his system before?
Well, it's big. I think that's a common trend. Usually when a new head coach comes in, he brings in coaches that he's familiar with, and the coach brings in as many players as he can that are familiar with his system. It's a diverse system. There's a lot of things going on out there, and it helps to have Leon and Emmanuel Lemire, Reggie Nelson, Frosty Rucker. I got a lot of guys that can help explain things behind the scenes on the sidelines and help graduate the other guys.
Coach, PJ had his first day of training camp today from the strained pectoral. Did anything stand out?
No, not yet. He obviously was limited. We want to ease him back into things. He did a lot of individual work. We'll try to get him some one-on-one rushes tomorrow and ease him into the 9-on-7. Remember, he didn't get the 4 days of the rookie preparation, so we're happy to have him back. We think he's an inside pass rusher. He's hard to block, and hopefully we continue to see progress.
Have you and Matt Patricia already talked about what you want to accomplish during your practices, or does that happen closer to the days that you
We've
practice?
talked a couple times. It's going to be a pretty standard practice where we're going to work. I think the big thing is we're going to work together making sure that we have an etiquette in how we practice. We're going to try to hit some different situations. There'll be some really fun live goal line elements, but we want to work on our punt protection. We want to see a different opponent that plays different defenses, and so do they. So, yeah, we'll collaborate further when they get here, but we've already had pretty good dialogue in terms of the format.
You guys brought in a lot of different cornerbacks, and you drafted one. Are you happy with the depth there, top to bottom? Seems like there's a lot of quality throughout.
We're gonna have to wait and see. You know, we felt that was a position that we needed to address. Unfortunately, Conley has been unable to stay healthy. We like him when he's out there, but he's missed a lot of time. And we like Melvin. We like Worley. We like a lot of the things we see from Nick Nelson. We got a lot of contenders. But as Gunther said yesterday or 2 days ago, it's wide open. It's wide open.
Johnny Townsend, again today, exhibited that directional punt ability that he has. What kind of factor do you think that will be, picking a division with Tyreek Hill and some of the other punt returners that we've seen this season?
Yeah, I think it's a big factor. I mean, we're not going to promise anything, but we really don't want to punt the ball down the middle of the field to that guy or any guy, nor does anybody else in this league. You know, you want to try to pin the guy between the numbers and the sideline, give your punt coverage team an idea where the heck the ball is. And also the thing that's a hidden, I think, area with Townsend is he's a great holder. You know, he puts the ball down and handles it well, spins the laces, and tilts it properly. So he's a mature guy. We like what he's done.
There's a theory going around about Garrett Conley about vitamin D deficiency. Anything to that, or
really?
That's the. I mean, I hate to do it, but that's the. Roger Woodson mentioned it last year, and I guess Papa the other day. So is that something you've heard or discussed about?
I haven't heard that. I've not heard that. What's that? Makes it hard to heal? Is that what it is? Vitamin D? We'll try to get some supplements for him.